With the Associated Press is now reporting Donald Trump has the number of delegates needed to be the Republican nominee. It takes 1,237 delegates, that number we've all been watching, to win the GOP nomination. And according to the AP, the billionaire businessman now has 1,238 delegates. He was put over the top by a small number of the party's unbound delegates who told the news agency they'd support him at the convention. When this contest began, 17 Republicans were in the race. Trump's unlikely rise to the top upended the political landscape, and now it sets the stage for a bitter general election campaign. We're expecting to hear from him soon at a news conference in Bismarck, North Dakota, and we will obviously be monitoring that and bring you any breaking news as it renders. But Jonah, what do you make of this? Topping that 1237 number by one, but of course he could win a lot more to pad that.
Yeah, no, he's going to get it. And even though these unbound delegates could change their mind down the road, after California and New Jersey, he'll have the 1237 no matter what. And we sort of knew this was coming. I mean, once Ted Cruz got out, it became a foregone conclusion. And so at least officially, the Stop Trump movement within the Republican Party is over. The distinction, which is sometimes lost on a lot of people, is that there's the Stop Trump movement and the Never Trump movement. Never Trump is a state of mind. Never Trumpers just aren't going to vote for him. The Stop Trump movement failed. He won the nomination. It's his to do with as he sees fit.
Where is the GOP? And Megan, I want to bring you in here. Where are they as far as coming around to support Donald Trump at this point?
I mean, I think people are still really split. You look at the polls, over something like 36% of Americans are open to voting third party. We talked yesterday. I really want to get on board with Trump, but when he attacks people like Susana Martinez, the governor of New Mexico, when he's supposed to be, bringing the party together, reaching out to different leaders. She's the only Latina female governor in the country. She's the head of the Governors Association in this country. I just don't understand what he's doing, because people like me are having pressure on them to support him, but he has to play ball and be a leader as well and stop, shooting inside the tent. Aim all your bullets at the Clintons right now.
And it does feel like there's constant reminders out there, Kimberly, that the general election is much different game than the primary. How will Donald Trump do once he faces Hillary Clinton in the general?
Right, and I think the problem is that, Trump's got an AK-47, so he's like got a lot of spray for everybody. He's like, I'm going to cover the room. She's like, you cross me, you don't back me. Obviously, he wanted her to show up with him at the rally. That would have been an important and pivotal moment. She wasn't quite there yet. I don't know that it helped her get there, of course, by the comments that he made, but that's a businessman's approach versus a politician, because in Donald Trump's world, with the art of the deal, you cross me, I'm going to get you back. You don't support me, I'm going to push back on you. It's that type of, punching, counter-punching. Yes, there's 25 million advisors in the world that probably would have told him, hey, that's not a good thing to do, maybe like throttle back. But that's not his personality or his speed. That's not even what his hardcore supporters expect, for him to take a back seat on something like that. He's going to be like, hey, listen, by the way, maybe I should run for governor of New Mexico.
Right.
The thing is, though, he has his hardcore supporters already.
Yeah.
Politics is supposed to be about addition, so
I
think he would try to add to his column.
Do the plus.
And go ahead, Melissa.
No, I was going to say he can't help throwing that Molotov cocktail out there. I mean, as long as we're doing weapon analogies here. I mean, he's out there and he says, maybe I'll run for governor while I'm at it. It's amazing, but when you see him kind of go over the top today with this announcement from AP, it's kind of like I keep having this conversation with people who hate him, saying, I think it's time for you to reconcile yourself with the possibility that he could win this whole thing. And it's amazing the number of people who say to me, no, he will not. That sort of George Clooney-esque, he cannot become president. It won't happen.
Well, that's delusional. If you think at this point he can't be president, that's a special level of delusional. It's not that. It's that we want to come together as a party. He is now the nominee. He needs to be a leader. Like you just said, Jonah, it's about he already has his demographic. He needs women and he needs Hispanic people. Susana Martinez represents both those demographics. So why alienate someone you need?
So the AP
I think
story
she might not be the VP pick.
I know.
The AP gave us a sort of inside look at those unbound delegates that brought him over this number. Steve House, he's chairman of the Colorado Republican Party. He's one of the unbound delegates who confirmed his support of Trump in this AP report. Said he likes the billionaire's background as a businessman, but Megan, to your point, he's quoted saying leadership is leadership. This continues to be the main theme behind those who decide to support him.
No, I think that's right. And I think this is going to be an argument for a very long time for people who like Megan, who want to hear something, want to be persuaded to get on board this train. My problem is that it's so clear that when he says one thing one day, there's already a shelf life where it could expire, including on things like judges and all of that. So it's very difficult for me to get to the threshold of trusting him that he'll be a conservative, actually be a conservative president. But he's doing surprisingly well at unifying the party.
But what about the Supreme Court picks for someone like yourself? Does that...
Well, that was a smart thing to do. My problem with that was within 24 hours of issuing this supposedly authoritative list, he says, well, I might add to it. This is just sort of representative. I think Hugh Hewitt is right. Hugh Hewitt, radio show host, says he should actually appear with a specific human being and say, this is my guy or gal to replace Scalia instead of Merrick Garland and run as essentially a de facto ticket. That would be much more reassuring.